Next topic we are going to discuss, students, about a calorie meter. So what is calorie meter? Calorie meter, this is called as calorie meter. So it is a cylindrical vessel is there which is used to measure. Inside this, the cylindrical vessel is there. It is made up of copper. It is made up of copper. So it is a cylindrical vessel which is used to measure the amount of heat gained or lost by the body when it is mixed with another body, and it is made up of thin sheet of copper. This vessel is made up of thin sheet of copper. Why? The ICC will ask the question, why the calorimeter is made up of copper? Very important. 3 to 4 times they have asked this question. They had asked the question 3 to 4 times in the ICC. So first reason is because copper is a good conductor of heat. Second one, copper has a low specific heat capacity. Two reasons you have to write. So why it is good? So the vessel soon acquire the temperature of its content. Copper has a low specific, so the amount of heat energy taken by the calorimeter itself from the content to acquire the temperature is very small. So the outer and inner surface are polished. And so what is the function of radiation? Name the 3 types of heat transfer. So what are the 3 types of heat transfer? Radiation, conduction and convection. So the polished is act as a radiation. So the outer and inner surface of vessel are polished so as to reduce the loss of heat due to radiation. So for insulation, it is placed with a wooden jacket. It is placed with a wooden jacket is there. This is wooden jacket. So then such as wool, cotton to avoid the conduction. That means the wooden jacket or this wool, cotton act as a conduction. It is the function for the conduction. And for the convection, the wooden lid, outer lid. This outer lid is for the avoid the heat lost by the conduction. So it has a two holes. One is this one and second one is this one. So one is for the temperature. So we will put over here thermometer and pass into it. So to avoid 2 holes, one for the stirrer. This is called as stirrer. So to mix the content properly, and the other for the thermometer to measure the temperature. So what is the principle? The main question is over here is, what is the principle? What is the principle of the method of the mixture of the calorimetry? Principle of calorimetry. Principle of calorimetry. Very easy. Principle is there. That means heat lost. Who will lost heat? The heat lost by the hot object, because when we keep the hot object near to the cold object, the heat lost by the hot object and heat increased by the cold object. So heat lost by the hot body will be equal to heat here is lost and here is gained. So who will gain heat gained by the cold body. Cold body will gain the heat, whereas the lost by the hot body. So on which function it is? On the principle of the conservation of energy, because it can neither absorb nor release the energy. It can so energy can be maintained by both of them. So heat passes from one hot body to the cold body till both attain the same temperature. So no loss of energy is lost, no heat energy is lost to the surrounding. So this is called the method of mixture. So it is the principle based on the law of conservation of energy. This is the law of the energy can neither be absorbed nor be released, so it can maintain with each other. So mathematical statement is very important over here. So students, the mathematical statement is the heat energy calorimeter. the heat energy lost by the hot body, heat energy gained by the cold body. So we are having a two temperature we are having. So one is the temperature with having a more at high temperature. Suppose we are having a two temperature T2 is greater and is less than the T1. So T1 is more temperature and T2 is less temperature, and T is the temperature. T is the final temperature. This is the final temperature. So first of all, fall in temperature. How much temperature will be fall? Fall in temperature. Fall in temperature, कितना temperature fall होगा? That is T1 minus T. Less ज़्यादा किसका है? इसका. T1 is greater. So T1 से fall होगा, कहाँ तक पहुँचेगा? Final तक. Final temperature T तक. So T1 minus T, that is the fall in temperature. ठंडा कौन सा है? क्योंकि टेम्परेचर ज्यादा किसका है? T1 का. So T1 temperature will fall. So T2 is smaller. So less temperature than T1. That means T1 is cold one. So rise in temperature. Rise in temperature. Who will raise the temperature? In which object? That means cold one. That is T2. So that is T minus T2. T minus T2 is the rise in temperature. So heat lost. How much heat lost? Heat lost by hot body. How much? That is according to formula M into C into hot. Who will the hot? Which one is the hot one? Fall in temperature. That is fall in temperature. That is M into C into T1 minus T. Because students, we will use these numericals. These numericals are very important, and all the numericals are depend upon this formulas only. Okay. So next one is heat gained by cold body. That is M into C into rising temperature. Rising temperature. That is T minus T2. So according to the principle of calorimetry, heat lost is equal to heat gain. So heat lost is equal to heat gained. So heat lost is equal to, that is formula is M1 into C1 into, or you can write MC only, no problem. That is T1 minus T is equal to, student made mistake over here. Sometimes they are writing T minus T1. That is the blunder mistake over here, and you will not get a proper answer if you write T minus T1. Okay. So then is equal to M into C into T minus T2. So this formula we are going to use for solving the numericals. So try to understand this formula. Actually the main formula is Q is equal to MC delta T, that is change in temperature. So how much temperature is changed? So lost, how much final minus, this is high minus final, and final minus low temperature. Okay. So regarding this, numericals are there. So next ones, the natural phenomena are there, and the consequences of high specific heat capacity is there. Students, this topic is very important, because they will ask the reasonable questions. In physics, mostly reasonable questions are there, and students are used to write these reasons in first 2-3 lines only. Then only you have to explain the rest of the things. First, use the reason, write the scientific reason or specific reason in first 3 lines, then you start to elaborate rest of the things. So first one is, why the climate near the seashore is moderate. Climate jo seashore ke paas pe, why it is a moderate? First question maybe. Okay, so first reason is, so the specific heat capacity of water is high. So about 5 times high than the sand, because near the seashore it is a sand is there. So water temperature is high, about 5 times high than the sand. So heat energy required to same rise in temperature by the certain mass of water will be nearly 5 times more than the required same mass of sand. So sand gets heated and cooled more rapidly as compared to water under the similar condition. So near the seashore there becomes a large difference in temperature between the land and the sea. So due to convection from the land, so land breeze and sea breeze we have discussed in the lower classes. So breeze make the climate near the seashore more moderate. So you answer, what is should be your answer? First in reason you have to write due to high specific heat capacity of water, because the sand water temperature is 5 times high as that of sand. So next one, why the hot water are used for the fermentation? So this is the one of the question in the ICSE. Twice this question has asked in the ICSE, why the hot water bottles are used for the fermentation. So what is fermentation? You know, when you are having a back pain or side pain, or your any friend circle or and your parents having a back pain, the doctor advised to put the pot, the rubber pot or a plastic pot, and pour the hot water into it and keep it at the back of your neck. That is called as fermentation. Why the hot water bottles are used for the fermentation? The reason is that water does not cool quickly, because water is a bad conductor. So due to high specific heat capacity, so reason is same, due to high specific heat capacity, the hot water bottle provide more heat for the fermentation over a longer time. So all these reasons you have to read properly. Next one is why the base of the cooking pan is made thick. Base of cooking pan is made thick. The reason is thick. Thick means if it is thick, then it can absorb heat long time. It can long time and it can release the heat for a long time. So long time, thick, that means high specific heat capacity. So the base of the electric press is also made thick and heavy. So same reason, due to high specific heat capacity. The vessel of the measuring heat is made thin. Now it is thin. If it is thin, that means reason for the low specific heat capacity. Is it clear? So you have to think it and write the answer accordingly. So if it is a thick, that is due to high specific heat capacity. If it is a thin, then it is due to low specific heat capacity. Thank you.